make it work. So just, you can have a seat if you'd like. So, how to help them, right? Like, how to get, I see you, I think you need more, wait for the plane.
Of course.
So how to help them, right? Like how to get more information on them, like find their killers. That's kind of like what you're looking for.
Their bodies and their killers, or if there's anything else. Because when they come to me through the shadows, it seems like they're always careful what they say. Because some of them seem to have. I'm not allowed to ask them questions,
Right.
And if I do, they always look back, and so it looked like they're being stifled.
Yeah. So when they come to you, it's like usually like at night in your room, right? Like.
Well, I sleep in the living room, but that is my room.
Yeah.
I suppose,
Yeah. So what's happening, and like what I'm seeing is like what transpires is they're afraid that they're being followed. It's almost like their murderer, right, is like keeping their soul hostage. And so when they do like come to you, it's almost like they're escaping for like that split second, and they're able to go and give you snippets, right? But they're also don't want to give you too much information because they're still trying to build that trust with you, and they're still trying to make sure that like they can like give you that information freely. Like they're still hesitant, like there's some hesitancy, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that you're still developing your mediumship skills, because that's how they're coming to you, is through your mediumship skills. And so you may be only hearing what you are picking up on, but they may be telling you a whole bunch more. I feel like because they're coming to you at night, and it's almost, I feel like it's in that phase of like right before like your REM cycle really hits, right? And then like they call it lucid dreaming. It's that lucidity that happens. And so what I would suggest doing is keeping like a dream journal with you, and start writing down. But also what I see is that they're giving you hints in your visions as well.
Yeah, well, I do write it as a journal, and then I put it online. So if you're ever interested, here's the actual.
Oh, awesome!
I'll keep it as right when I have it. I run to the computer, and I write it all down.
Yeah, and I would also. And so the reason I suggest writing it is because like you could have like those. Like I was saying, be careful. Like pay attention to the background. Excuse me, as well, because like they could be giving you like little snippets of like hints in the background, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think the hints is in their testimony, what they're saying.
Yeah, but the ones who are still like holding back, it'll be in like the background. Like I'm seeing like they'll give you like a house or a tool. Like I see like a block of knives. So this is Kate. No, you're okay.
I'm not going to interrupt you.
No, I actually was waiting for you to introduce you. This is Arthur. Right? Did I get your name right?
Nice to meet you.
I'm not good with names. I'm good with faces. But he is writing a book about ghosts he's encountered. His mediumship skills are starting to come through for him. And so he's getting testimonies from spirits and finding their bodies and their murderers.
That's amazing
and
work.
he's looking for psychics to work with him, and I was telling him about you and how you were doing the Hotel Havana.
Out of 36 that's came to me since October of last year, so almost a year, I've been able to figure out 6 of the 36.
Really?
But that's not good odds. I still have 30 more to go. And so the online psychics and mediums that I've gone to has never wanted to deal with me. And since all those victims are in the Central Texas area, I think I want to go face to face and find people instead of going online and start getting people. So I traveled from Houston to here to see if I could get people like in the flesh. You know? So this is basically what she looks like, and I called her candle face because facial features that are all melted. I was like 6 years old when I named her, so
Breathless.
Yeah.
Was she wearing a dress when you
it's
saw
all
her?
it's always tethered. So it is. Well, actually, it looks more like a. You said the 1920s, so it's like the white gown underneath the gown
Yes.
that's all tethered.
But I feel
That's what it
like
looks like.
I feel so maybe the black's coming through because I smell smoke. So maybe like in the
Oh, you're seeing black. I see like off-white. Like
well, I see it, but maybe more of like a what do you call it when like the smoke residue smut?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
smart.
smut. Thank you. I feel like she was burned.
Can I touch your card? Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah, you gave it to me.
I'm sliding. I'm sorry.
I'll get you.
Okay, sorry. So I feel like I was telling you, right? Like you're still going through your journey of like mediumship, and like it can really tell with the hangman, right? Like you're opening up your. I can show it. There's the hangman. So you're really opening up, right, your third eye. You can see like that light coming through. What you're still working on is trusting yourself. I feel like sometimes you question the things that come through.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I'm here, because it's like I'm doubting.
And it's almost like, it is self-doubt, but it's almost like, am I really hearing what I'm hearing, right? And so it's like, but not only that, and I think you've had people, like you were saying, like turn you down so much that that's kind of put a damper on your confidence as well. So,
Surprised to hear that.
right? Me too.
I'm very surprised to hear that you haven't had luck.
Yeah.
Now, there's several here. I won't give names. But I'm sure you know the name that has abandoned me. It has actually went out and told people to don't trust me because Candleface is just too bad. Don't mess with her.
Bad in a way of like demonic bad or like
Demonic bad. Like
I
don't
wanna
mess
know
with
who
her.
you're talking about. Is he on TV?
Sydney Reyes.
Oh, I don't know him.
She's one of the sponsors. I mean, she's all on the paperwork showing it.
Is
Running
she
this
the one
place.
that I met before this?
maybe, and you're like, I don't like her.
There was a psychic medium that I met before this. I didn't even, I blocked out her name.
Maybe that was her.
I'm gonna look and see if it's the same person.
There's a bunch of others, but she seems. I mean, they've even made Facebook, YouTube channels just to make fun of it.
Interesting. Well, I'm sorry that that's happening, but I would say don't let that stop you, because your mediumship is like true. Like what you're seeing, what you're experiencing, like is happening because I see it. Like these people still come to you. I feel like her presence may be so strong, and that's why they're afraid to come and tell you. Like, it's not always her though. Like, there's still another like entity or spirit that's like holding them back from saying
Yeah,
stuff.
she has what's called shadows, which is her gatekeepers, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what's really weird is I could really smell these cards.
Can you?
It's not like a candle. It's like when you flip them, I can really smell them.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, what is
It smells like the first day of school when you opened up. You know, you all sniffed the books.
That second card right
this
there.
one? Yeah, the page of books. Yeah. But you're an author. And you're writing about
And I
it.
know, yeah, and I know this. So okay, so what's this part?
So you're on the right path, right?
me
Like
show
you're,
you.
oh yeah. Sorry. Here's your card, right? So you're on the right path. You're going where you need to. You need to start again going back and like trusting yourself, right? And trusting your intuition, following your gut senses, because I feel that that's really like where you're struggling with internally, because with that military background, right? You're like very analytical, very like.
Yeah, I was an intelligence officer.
I was gonna say, like, I see you doing a lot of research and like behind the scenes, like, so you're really like, I need the answers so I know where to go. But I think being in the military, they kind of like train you to not so much trust your gut instinct and trust the data, right? So here it's like you need to step out of that mind frame and trust your gut, because it's a whole different realm that you're messing with, right? It's a different kind of war and research, right? It's the war between living and the dead, and so you're trying to solve and help the dead. So really just follow your instincts, follow your path, because you're going down the right way. Don't let people spin you around and like change that world, like get caught in that whirlwind of like that negative talk, because it's just gonna push you away. Like it's gonna misguide you. So with the judgment reversed, you're afraid to speak your truth. You're not getting out there like you need to, and like advertising in a sense of like what you need, what exactly it is that you're looking for, because you're afraid of like past experiences. Sorry.
I was like, what was that?
They're attacking. The lights are like drawn to you. They keep like, we keep moving them and they keep going back.
Well, get rid of these gnats.
I know, these gnats are horrible. But don't be afraid to speak your truth, because like you're not letting yourself be seen and heard, and like that's also kind of dampening your mediumship as well, because it's that self-doubt playing again. So like in the times that you have self-doubt, you're not going to get as many messages as to when you're believing in yourself and you know that you're on the right path. So when you're like onto something and you feel like that hunch, you need to like just continue going towards that, because that's when all of these downloads will come, and they'll keep coming and coming. But then that moment you like start doubting yourself, or you read something negative and you're like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, that's the moment that they're going to stop.
Which is interesting, because one particular person now, who I name Mr. Smo, that lives in Austin, lives in the neighborhood I grew up in. He's always said that he's a devotee of Candleface. And so 3 days ago, he sent me a really nasty email, and I've done interviews with him. And he says, okay, I've had it with all your lies. I'm going to now tell the whole world of your lies, that you're making Candleface an evil person. She's really a compassionate person. You're just making her evil. And he wants to start his own way of telling people that she's actually good, not evil.
Yeah.
And so now it's just like I'm all been out of shape. It's like, okay, what do I do now? The guy that was my biggest supporter of giving me information is now wanting to go against me.
I don't think he was supporting you in the sense, that you were thinking. Like it was more like what you said, riding the coattails, more of like, let me get all this information so that I can turn around and make my own story.
He's not, and you're going to be the first two that's heard this, because it only came out 3 days ago. But he's saying her real name is Isabel. Not, I named her Candleface because I was just 6 years old, this big, and she had.
Right, that's what you saw, right?
That's what I named her. But now he's saying her name is Isabel.
See, I would think her name is more of like a Meredith.
Yeah.
Or like
I would say like a true American.
Yeah. Or Agatha, even. I would have to sit in it longer than this. I'm not trying to interrupt you, but I don't think her name is Isabel, and I think you're right, that you're going to come across a lot of people that see what you're doing, and they either want to latch onto it or hinder it. And I think that even speaks more to give you fire to do it even more.
Yeah, so don't like let it drain you, right? Use it, because right now, like with the Ace of Swords reversed, right? Like with this, like you're letting your power go, like you're letting what you know, what to write about, and like what's come to you, let other people have control over that. So you need to like stop, right? Because once you stop hearing
I'm
about
sorry,
other,
can you say that part about the control and other people?
Yes, so kind of like this, go back to this incident, right? Like where, bye, good luck.
I'm going to reach out to you. I have
Okay.
to go talk on the paranormal panel, but I'll be back.
Outstanding, thank you.
As far as like giving them too much information, right? Like it feels like these people like you can trust, and you're like open with them, and you're sharing like your experiences, and and in turn they're just taking that away from you. So it's like you're giving your power away. It's not control in the sense of like the tangible control, right? Like they have control over you, but like you're giving them control over your story because you're sharing it too in-depthly with them.
Okay. A friend of mine just told me that yesterday.
Oh, interesting. Yep. So once you stop, right, all of your ideas are gonna like just come to life. And I like that you said that you were in intelligence, because if you see, like, there's all these calculations going on, and like there's all these I don't know, data, right, meaning behind on this card. And so I'll show it on the card so you can see it a little bit. Is it focusing? So once you take back that power and that control over your story, more people are going to come speak to you, and the mediumship's going to open up even more, and you're going to have a lot more information, a lot more valid, I can't say those words, come in. But going back to where your spirit guides are really speaking, right? It's like, don't beat yourself up over it. It's in the past. It happened. It's a lesson learned. You have to let it go, because once you let it go, you're going to step into that true light. Show this card, sorry. And don't hold on to it, because the more that you hold on to it, the more that you're going to hinder your mediumship skills, and then the longer it's going to take you to reach that end goal of your journey.
Okay.
So you'll know who you can work with and who you can reach out to and who you can trust. It's all a learning lesson, and unfortunately life is full of them, regardless of like how long we've been around, or all the incidents we've been through, or learning patterns we've been through. That life is always going to teach us something more. So I feel she's guiding you because she wants her murder solved. I really do feel like it has to do with like a fire. I feel like 1920s, 1930s is a kind of like her time frame, but I don't think her name's not Isabella.
So as far as San Antonio goes,
I don't think she has, I don't feel like any Hispanic or Native American descent from her. It truly does feel more of like the true Texan.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever, however we want to phrase that, right? But she came to you because for help, and like when people with mediumship, it's hard, especially when you're 6, because that's how old I was when I started seeing spirits and talking to dead people. But they come to you for help, and they know that you can hear them. The other thing that's coming through about the control, though, is make sure that you protect yourself, too. Because a lot of spirits can come through and drain your energy, and so you can't allow that to continue to happen, because you're just going to be so drained that you don't want to like do anything or like do any of your work. So just make sure that you're like protected in that sense of like where you're allowing them to come through but not use your energy. So. But I would say keep going on the right path, because you have some decisions to make. Know who you can trust. You have like the snake is coming out of it, so you'll learn who to trust and like how to move forward.
Yeah, that's really important here, because that's what I'm trying to. That's why I'm here. Is like, who can I try? I can't find anybody online.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, no way am I gonna do anything with her.
Yeah, I don't feel like she's. I'd like how Kate said, I'd have to sit with her a little bit more and see like how she.
Well, if you want, you can scan that code or just go to the website.
Okay.
And it goes to my journal.
Okay.
If you were to read it, it's best to go from the very bottom up, because they're in chronological order.
Okay.
And then it shows the progression.
The progression. Okay. Yeah, I'd have to sit with her. Initially, right, she doesn't feel demonic. She just feels like a lost, misunderstood soul. But I'm always like cautious with that, because demons do have a tendency to like play tricks on people, right? So I think she just needs help, and she's trying to figure out how she can get that help. I think you're on the right path, though. Like, I wouldn't give up on your stories or where you're going. Just be careful of how much you share with people.
Yeah, that's what a buddy of mine says. That you're sharing too much. Space it out.
Yeah.
But that's my style. I share a certain amount on purpose, because to find out who I can trust.
I would say if you're gonna go that route, then like
But anyway, so that's
Don't tell
San Antonio Zoo's history.
Yeah. Well, that's
I mean, I'm not saying
credibility
to be,
is.
Then that's where I'm like, don't lie, but don't like give away your whole story, right? Like, because then people are going to take it and run and make it their own. So, unfortunately, with like writing, right, it's who publishes it first and who gets it.
Yeah, I've already ran into that. I created a paranormal in this research. I created a paranormal book, or a series of forms. So when you're doing a investigation,
The gnats go away.
mosquitoes never bite me, but gnats.
I know the gnats are horrible over here. So
But I created several forms for paranormal investigators to fill out. And so when they go do investigations, they could just fill it out. And then this group was like, "Oh, that's the stupidest thing." And then last week they published on Amazon a form.
Yeah, be careful. I think what you're doing is amazing. You're helping out souls who are, in a sense, trapped. Because like once you can solve right, like what they're doing, then they're released. They're able to cross over. So I think you're on the right path. You'll learn who you can trust. And I would say maybe try a different tactic versus giving all your information out. I would hold that more, like, I would guard that more.
Well, I don't give everything. There's some things that I haven't spoke or written in my blog, and then there's several people that will call me up, and then they'll tell me something, and that's how I know.
Yeah.
One particular spirit that I've been able to find out who it was, and even the killer, the sister of the one that died, called me up and she says, "Please stop." Because I had a podcast where I was discussing it, and she says, "You're bringing way too much torture to them," because I'm talking about how Candleface is torturing her spirit. And so she says, please stop. We're not doubting you. We think it's real, but just by you getting out there. So I ended up getting rid of the podcast because I don't want to bring more pain to the living.
Yeah.
So I'm just so freaked out. It's like, where do I go? Is like doubting. One of these was the doubt.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah. So
Well, these two really talk about like you doubting yourself and like giving away too much of your information and knowledge, right? But I think you'll know. Again, you have a decision to make on how to progress. I really think I feel that writing is like your path and like what you're best at, but it's formulating it in a sense of where like it's like that happy medium, right? Of like where you're not making her look bad and you're not bringing more grief to the living, right? It's like finding that balance. I think you'll find it.
I like that. I think that was worth it, just what you said there.
Oh, well, thank you.
Because if this guy, Mr. Smo, who I named, he's the one that's been telling me that she's compassionate, and he wants to do another podcast where he dispels all my lies that she's not this compassionate person.
Yeah.
Maybe getting with him, instead of clashing, getting with him. Okay, then who is she? Let's work together.
Yeah. Maybe that could be an option, and I think it may be something to where like you could hear his point of view, right, and then your point of view and see like where the mismatches come in and why he feels that way. But
All these little gnats,
I know,
candle faces.
sorry. I know it's horrible out here, but I hope that helped and gave you some clarity. Just know that Spirit's never going to give you a direct answer. They are going to make you do some of the legwork too. So.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's why they chose me, because I'm that. I did human trafficking and missing persons investigations,
Yeah.
and I think that's part of maybe why they found me.
Yep. And I feel like when you did that in the military, it was very much mediumship talking to you on where they were and how to find them, but you still had, again, like I was saying, right, the military kind of deteriorates that gut feeling and go more on logic and data, and so now it's balancing those two.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Thank you.
First time I ever did that.
Oh, well, I'm glad I'm glad I met you. I hope I'm gonna definitely check it out. And if there's anything near San Antonio,